Do you constantly jump from project to project because you're unable to maintain focus? Well, my name is Rosie, and my fixation of the week is sewing boning into a pre-made corset that was included in a costume set that I have for an upcoming cosplay. Who am I cosplaying? Ruby Rose from the anime I will make this disclaimer, I have no sewing skills, but there are some tutorials online, including this one by Minji Lee. This is the one that I mainly followed, but I did not necessarily follow it to a T, which will show at the end of this video, being as the result is interesting. Let's get started. I gathered my supplies, which were the boning, pins, the seam ripper, and a pair of scissors. I then started pulling some of the boning out of its fabric casing just because some of the fabric already had little sections for it to be stable. So I figured, why not just pull it all out? There were small sections of the corset that didn't have those specific little flaps. We're gonna call them flaps. So I had to keep the casing on, and in retrospect, I should have kept the casing on throughout the entirety of it, but of course I needed to make it more difficult. It's my first time doing this. Once I got everything going, I lined the boning up with the corset and slowly began to cut the boning into the right size so that it could be inserted. Next, I went in with the seam ripper and started ripping seams. That was so boring. This took me a little bit to figure out, but I managed to find the right seams to rip and just started going at it one at a time. And once I created the hole, I inserted the boning into the corset and immediately pinned them in place because otherwise I would have lost all of the boning inside.
Then it was time to sew. I have never been more intimidated by a machine, let alone something that is supposed to be a practical thing to use on a daily basis. How could something be so scary, yet so unthreatening at the same time? I had my work cut out for me. This is the part that I knew I was going to struggle the most. It shows at the very end because none of the lines are straight. And I'm so sorry. I wish I was better at this, but if you have any tips on how to sew in a straight line, leave it in the comments, please. I'm begging you. After some quick troubleshooting, I was good to go, and I inserted the corset and just went for it. This was the first line. It came out as it came out, and I just kept going from there. It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. Before I even knew it, I was finished with all of the sections, and it turned out like this. It was fine. Everything was okay, and I was like, you know what? This is my first time. I'm gonna be nice to myself and give myself a break. I laid it down on a flat surface just to look at it and make sure that everything was good to go. And once I was comfortable with accepting what it was, I was eager enough to throw it on, and may I say, I did pretty well. It looked pretty good. I was really impressed at the fact that it was able to hold the structure, and then when I tightened the corset at the back, it actually hugged my body. And that's when I realized I forgot to record a before shot. So here's a photo of it how it was before. It's kind of hard to tell, but before it was more bunched up and was not holding any structure whatsoever. Needless to say, it was an improvement, and for something that needed to be done just quick and easy and also very simply, I think I got the job done. Of course, I had to put the whole costume on. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to leave a like, and if you want to come back to see more spontaneous projects, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you know when I post next. Thanks so much for joining, and we'll see you next time.